Everton 2, Brighton 0, match reaction. Everton kick off Hill Dickinson Stadium with a win. And that is probably one of the most important results of the season because it now gives us the momentum going in to the rest of the season to continue this form and to kind of build upon the legacy that we are going to build here at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Perfect. From minute 0 to minute 90, there was luck, and we haven't had that in a while, but there was a lot of luck, and we take it. The overall performance from everyone was brilliant. Absolutely perfect. We obviously set out there with the game plan of kind of letting Brighton come on to us and hitting them on the counter, giving the ball to the likes of Grealish, Dewsbury Hall, launching it to Barry, or giving it to Grealish, whatever the game plan was. It was something like that, and it worked perfectly today, with the counter attacks being a dream. There's so much to unpack, and we're going to try and do as much as we can within a short time because I'm busy and got stuff to do. And also, I want to watch this Man United Fulham game. Obviously, who doesn't? It's football. But perfect. Everyone. You've got, first of all, when the team sheet came out, it looked like it was going to be another one of those days. Garner and O'Brien back at fullbacks. O'Brien we all expected. Miko, Branthwaite, and Patterson were rolled out in the press match and pre-match interview with Moyes. So we knew that wasn't happening, but we knew Asnu was touch and go. And he's probably one of the only negatives of today is Asnu got injured in the warm-up. We don't know how long he's out for. We don't know if it was just precautionary to bring him off the bench, put Campbell on, or whether he did pick up another injury, because if he has that, it's terrible. Because as good as Garner was today, he's not a left back, and he'll be better in CDM. Going into the game though, Brighton, when we started the better team, Brighton got into it though, and we had to ride our luck for a bit. They hit the crossbar. Matoma, brilliant flick over Keenan Tarkowski, and what a strike. And then they go down there, they literally go down there and again, sweat it, and Welbeck skies it over the bar. So we got away with that. A lot of luck. And then we go down their end, and what a counter-attack. I think it was Gay to Dewsbury Hall to Grealish. Just Grealish. He's not legal. I don't get how he's had to play football sometimes. Squares it to Illerman, who gets the first ever goal at Hill Dickinson. And just the play for that goal was nothing like we saw against Leeds. Grealish, as I said at the end of that match reaction against the Leeds game, we needed Grealish to be more like his Villa Grealish, and that is exactly what he was today. Rightfully picking up man of the match. He got the ball and he took his man on. He wasn't scared. He wasn't pragmatic. He didn't try to keep possession. He just went for it. And I can't remember a time where he didn't win the battle. He was brilliant. And not only was he brilliant going forward, which is what we needed, he was brilliant defensively, covering for Jimmy Garner on multiple occasions. The best one I think of was when he slide tackled Minter when he was about to have an easy shot or easy sweaty. And that was a goal-saving tackle. Brilliant from Grealish. Just brilliant. That is the Grealish we need. And if we have that Grealish, like linking up with Dewsbury Hall, Barry, Beto, Njai, Alcaraz, and McNeil all season, or even Dibbling, who is supposed to be through the door and his medical is on Tuesday, then that is just, we got a brilliant attack. The attack is sorted. We just need hope. If we have time, one more right winger, but we'll get into that later. Second goal, even better. Just even better. In the standpoint of going forward, it wasn't a counter-attack this time. We get the ball, Grealish has it, and he looks around. And this is where Grealish is so important now. If that was McNeil on the ball, 3 men don't get dragged towards the ball. Grealish has it, and 3 Brighton defenders all dragged towards him, and it allowed Jimmy Garner to just sit on the edge of the box and pick the ball up and just strike it as hard as he can at goal. Arguably, that goal doesn't really happen with a Mikolenko or an Asnu at left back because they're not those type of fullbacks that would hit it. Jimmy Garner is a midfielder, so you would expect him to be able to strike it from there. And what a strike it was. Left for Brugge, Mason, no chance. He got his hand to it, but it was too quick, too powerful, and he probably saw it late. And again, it's just the effect of having a Jack Grealish or an Iliman Ndiaye on the ball. They drag players with them. And what was even better about the goal is I think it was Dewsbury Hall or someone made an overlapping run, which dragged the fourth player away. There were 4 players out of the play for one moment, and that was just because of an overlapping run and having the talent of a Jack Grealish on the ball. It makes defenders panic. It makes the opposition panic because they don't know what's going to happen. Is he just going to skin 3 of them and take a shot? Or is he going to look for the pass? Is he just going to shoot straight away? You don't know what a player of that talent is going to do. And that is why it's so important for us to have Jack Grealish starting week in, week out. Perfect. Then the game goes all Brighton. All Brighton from basically 60th minute onwards. We sat back and we were basically like, okay, just come break us. Just get through us and get the shot off. And they did a few times. And then they get a chance. Dewsbury Hall. Hand is about here. It's more of a penalty than Tarkowski's one last week. But I still think it's contentious to whether it's a bit dubious whether it's a penalty or not. Because at the end of the day, his hand is a bit more out, and that's why it's more of a penalty in my opinion. But at the same time, where is his hand supposed to be again? People will argue it's supposed to be by his side. Yes, it is. But we saw last week that doesn't really matter. So his hand is a bit more out. And at the end of the day, he's going for a slide tackle. It's the exact same thing as last week. He's going in for the tackle. Where is it? Naturally, your arm flies up a bit. So where is it supposed to be? Again and again and again. Because if you play the sport, you'll know when you go for a block or slide tackle, your arm does naturally fly up. Because you're sliding. It's basic physics. But again, it's the Premier League referees and they're pretty stupid up here. So we don't know what to expect anymore. And it was a penalty. But Jordan Pickford comes up heroic. This man by here he's just, I hate the hate for him because I don't get it anymore. Okay, 2018, 2017, 2019. He was poor. Yes, he was very poor. But from then on, he's the only reason we're not relegated for a starter. We could be in League One doing a Sunderland by now if it wasn't for Jordan Pickford. And secondly, he's come up clutch for England every single tournament, and yet there's still fans out there who think Dean Henderson, Aaron Ramsdale, Nick Pope or James Trafford should be starting over him for England. And that makes no sense because without him, England don't get to any of the positions they've been in these tournaments. Without us having Pickford win League One, potentially if even worse, and we're playing League One football in Hill Dickinson Stadium without this man. And yet people still want him gone. What a penalty save. The stats don't lie. With those 50%. 50-50, he still had to guess. And he got it perfect. And he's the best keeper in the league. I don't care what anyone says. And yeah, we kind of saw the game out and it was perfect. It was a perfect performance with a lot of luck, which we haven't had in a while. And there's so many more positives now to take into Mansfield, I think it is, next week. Or next Wednesday in the Carabao Cup. It's going to be more of a rotated team, but it should still be another win, progress. I think for me, we need to go out all out in this cup. We need, like Newcastle did, we need to go all out for the Carabao Cup. So, that's player ratings. We always do. Pickford, 9. The only reason he doesn't get higher, actually 8. The only reason he doesn't get higher is because of his distribution. But the penalty save, 9. Yeah, it's 9. Think about it now. 9. You couldn't really ask for any more. If his distribution was better, 10. But you couldn't ask for any more of Pickford. Penalty save, that Tarkowski back pass he saved, and his play was just good all day, per usual, Jordan Pickford. Jacob Bryan, 7. He had Matoma on lockdown for most of the game. You couldn't really ask for much more. We still desperately need a right back though. So it'll be interesting to see whether we get him through the door for whoever we play next. I actually can't remember. It'll be very, very important for us to get him through the door. I think it's Villa away, but I could be wrong. Keane, 8. I thought Michael Keane was brilliant today. He, for 90 minutes, pocketed Welbeck and saved Tarkowski on many occasions. Because Tarkowski, I'm going to give a 5. Personally, Tarkowski was our worst player today. He made many mistakes and he didn't look up to his normal standard. But you get those games from James Tarkowski and you know next week he'd just be the best defender we've ever seen. So I'm fine with it. He isn't next to Brantford, who he's more comfortable next to. But Keane, 8. Brilliant. Jimmy Garner, 6. He gets a goal, and what a goal it is. What a strike. But he didn't really have Minter on lock. Minter skinned him multiple times, and we can't be having that, which is why it's so important for to get Mykolenko back from injury. Because whilst Mykolenko maybe doesn't score the goal, he makes us so much more secure at the back. And that is one of the big points for me today. 180 minutes of Premier League football and 0 goals from open play with a makeshift backline that is missed. There's only has one starter, really, and has many players out of position. That is very important and very good defensively from this team. Idrissa Gueye, 7, perfect. Couldn't ask much more of him. Tim, 8. I thought Eric Bunham was brilliant today. Njai, 8 again. 7. He gets the goal, first ever goal at Hill Dickinson Stadium, but he lost the ball a few times and his dribbling wasn't as good as we know it can be. Dewsbury Hall, 6. I didn't think he had the greatest game, but there's still a player to come out and he's still getting his feet, he's still learning the club, so there's still plenty of time for him to grow. Grealish, I have never given a 10 out of 10 performance before, but 10 out of 10. That Grealish performance, I'm dazzled by it. It was so good. It was amazing. It was perfect. Barry, 8. Barry, if we can have that Tierney Barry with a bit more cutting edge with his finishing, he didn't get a shot today, but I did actually. I had 2 headers. Keep those headers down and hold up play a bit more. Perfect. Subs, who do we bring off the bench? Beto, 6. 7 actually. I have the Barrow too bad a game. Alcaraz, 6. Didn't really do much. McNeil, 6. Again, didn't do much. Armstrong, 6. Again, didn't do much. Moyes, 10. Got it perfect today. Perfect. And that is the key word from today's game. Perfect. What a performance into Mansfield now on Wednesday, back at Hill Dickinson Stadium. And let's get through to the third round of the Cup, because that is my goal for this season, is for us to win the Carabao Cup and just try and get mid-table. If we can push for European football, that is the dream. But we need a right back, potentially another right winger, and still another midfielder through the door, at least, before we can look at European football. Brilliant win for the Toffees. We get our first win in the first ever game at Hill Dickinson Stadium, and you couldn't ask for much more from the boys. Up the Toffees, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, see you guys again in the next one. And goodbye and goodbye.